Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Hello, share. Mr. President Yeshika H. Yeptomi, the President of V.K area Students Union and his esteemed colleagues, the head GB and GBs of the host village, pastors and church leaders of particularly this village, my good friend Mr. Hoho V.K, the Speaker of Naga Students Federation, my good brother Mr. Iqikulukithe, the Assistant General Secretary of the Naga Students Federation, and my good friend Engineer Sentilo Mark, my friend and my brother Mr. Toito Tishi, the former president of all Nagaland College Students Union, my friends out here, and most importantly, my dear students who are gathered here, attending this momentous and magnificent conference of the V.K range or V.K area Students Union. My utmost respect to each and every one of you. When I was called by my brother Toito Chishi to be part of this conference, to be part of this session, I was reluctant to join you. Not because I'm not willing, but because I know the reason. I know the reason best known to particularly the leaders, where my presence may not be that important. Though I was willing to come and share my minds and thoughts in my little journey as a student leader, but I'm glad. Ami bishi kushi paise. Aji ahina apne la blessing lole. Aro ami laga bhavana alop pulibi kotha kole laga opportunity diya to ami bishi kushi paise. Itu karone I am privileged standing in front of all of you. We have been here for almost an hour. Ami kutha ambana kubo, believe ami moon laga kutha kule bhavana kule. Itu nimide. I hope our parents will bear with me as I start my thoughts, which I am not very prepared, but I want to speak out my mind. Ami program pa logo program saise sumi kuthabrai likhina thagise kintu ami jaina ekta dikhi pa to ami laga nam thagise aro tade theme thagise topic, the topic which I am supposed to express this evening is embracing innovation. Ami tu paise, ami bishi kushi paise. Itu nimide, itu laga isap te bhavana kotha bole monas. As I entered this church, the conference hall, I am impressed to see all our beautiful ladies and handsome gentlemen, particularly embracing yourself with your traditional attire. Apni hange hohai gurina itu traditional attire. Most of you, I am sincerely impressed. Itu apnan ke janai dias. I used to, ami busti mano. I'm a village boy, and I used to learn. Ami agede alop Nagamis kuidibo. Ami la dialogue alop kuidibo. I learned a lot from my Sunni brothers and from my Sumi friends. Whenever I go home, ami kitia busti jabo, ami laga busti elders kan, seniors kan get me lagi. Ami kan bi siba kan nisna ho pare bo lagi. Kile kwase bole ami apne ala agine press kora na. Le something ekta unique among the Nagas ami dikhi pa do. Kude ekta meeting huise, ekta gathering huise, Sumi leaders kan do jibi laga dress to thik lagai na ebo, elders kan do nijor la attire ete lebi kiba ekta de lagai na aina. Ami itu saina bui bi khai aro bisi khushi bi pai. So I used to tell my villagers, meeting de jaile apni kotha la koile bi eniga ekta lagai na jabi na. That is what I learned from our Sumi friends. I have lots of things to tell you. I mean, 1 घंटा होइसे, I mean 15 to 20 minutes low. In my journey as a student leader, I have lots of admiration particularly from our Sumi friends and Sumi family. Itu ami laga khushi laga, itu laga platform laga namra, सब मरोगे things. Itu भी कोई दिवले मुना से. My friends, my elders, they guided me, they molded me, they shaped me to be who I am today. And most of the contributions were made by my Sumi friends and my Sumi elders. Needless to mention the names, but for which I am always indebted to them and particularly to our Sumi communities. Ami enika platform Sumi laga gathering like today. Aji nisna laga gathering de ami tinta charta kotha kuina ahi where I don't refuse. Ami eku bal ko na pareula, babana eku contribute ko na pareula. Kintu ami laga friends kan ami ge Sumi kan ami ge welcome kula. Ami bisi khushi pra jai thake and today like today ami khushi etu laga khushi bi janai diase. My dear student friends, I'm glad and happy to be part of all of you in this first session of V.K Range Students Union. Beshi khushi janai diase. From here, I will dwell on our theme, embracing innovation. Embrace Napuragite. I think we have to think about innovation, as our theme says, innovation. When I say innovation, or when you see the word innovation, what comes to your mind? I think the only alternative word which comes in our mind is a change. It's a change. Someone is running a hotel in the highway in the V.K town, where the hotel is not attracting enough customers. I think that hotel needs some change. I think we are talking about that in our actual life today. I hope you are getting my point. For instance, you did your postgraduate or graduate and come back. Your parents are running a hotel. I will cite one example as I passed this afternoon. Your parents are running a hotel which is not attracting enough customers. Then as you come back home, I think you have to see something new and you have to be able to invent something new. And you have to bring a change. I think that is called innovation, in simple terms. And what about the word embracing? Embraced. We have to accept the change. We have to accept the change with the change of time. Just recently I was invited to speak in one range like yours, where I talk about changing the perspective of an individual with the change of time. There was a time where our parents were talking about railways, the infrastructural development, constructing big houses, railway aise, aeroplane fly urase, that those were the wonders during the days. Just before 21st century, there was a time where technology, IT was one of the talk, where all of us, we have smartphone in our hand. Now the time has come where people have started talking about, what is that? Artificial intelligence. Where in the near future, artificial intelligence is going to substitute the labor of a human efforts. Very soon. So that is how I think the world is changing. Dunia to change Gurunajas. And what about us? As Sumi or as Nagas? What about us? How are we going to embrace innovation in our day-to-day life and in our profession and in our life and in our community as Sumi or as Naga people? I want to question that. I want to narrate one story. As I see the theme, one story came in my mind where I'm in Naga mistake with you, which I feel is relevant in our session this afternoon. Very common story, which may carries lots of message, where we can interpret in different models. एक जून एकता छोकरा बिराइना जाइरहेको He was walking and he saw an elephant. He saw an elephant, big healthy elephant, been tied with a rope. एकदम हाथी डाঙर एकता गोलाले बांधिना থাকিছে একজন যাই থাকিছে So he was surprised. He was surprised to see that huge elephant been tied by one tiny rope. Ekta chuttu rusi ekta pratala bula bandina থাকিছে So he was surprised. So he asked the master, the trainer of that elephant, "Are itu hathi do iman dangor ase? Kinika chuttu rope ekta rusi ekta pra bula bandina? How can? Why he don't go away? Tai kile tu bangai na ulau na pare?" The trainer told that young man, "Itu hati to chuttu time bra, itu rusi bra bandia to ite bhi rusi laga size to eki ase." Why? Because elephant felt that itu rusi to bacha time bra bandina ena thagise moi ulau para nai moi ite damor hoise itu rusi boi kaina. He cannot adapt to the change. Where he could have easily break that chain and he can get the freedom and he can run away. But whereas itu para nai. I think Nagas, an sumiobi Naga mano pura itu change to lo na pare na. I feel that way. So Aji, today what we have to do? What we have to do? We're talking about our team. What we have to do? We have to think over again and again. And I'm very happy in almost all the students gathering. Ami jabo bisi ulado chokra kan mature baba mahan bisi thake, but I'm very impressed to see most of you are students. And which is why ami dialogue to alo bisi jabo. I want to share my mind. If some of you are from a business background, or if some of you have a mind to do business, this very point you will be acquainted with. But let me tell you, each and every one of you, including myself, each and every one of us, we are our own brand. Some of you who have a fashion to buy or to get only some branded clothes, you will understand this better. Each and every one of you, I'm telling you, each and every one of you, each and every one of us, we are our own brand. We are our own brand. For instance, let me tell you, Mr. Kato or Mr. Toito, you yourself, your name carries yourself. Your name carries you, which in a sense, what I'm trying to say is, you are your own brand. Where your parents cannot substitute you, where your parents' luxury or your parents' wealth cannot substitute you, you are your own wealth. I want to dwell there. This area. You are your own brand. What I'm trying to say is, the moment you finish your degree, or the moment you want to do something, the moment you entered or you finish your maturity, you entered your maturity, you will be available in the market for sale. Where your value depends on the brand you carry. The wealth of yours will carry your brand in the market. Some of you, which is why what I'm trying to say is, some of you may be well equipped in learning, which is why some of you may become an NCS officer, IS officer, IPS officer, whatsoever. That depends on you, not your parents. Some of you will become a successful businessman, an entrepreneur. Some of you will become a village head. We cannot underestimate them. Some of us, or some of you, will become a politician, a doctor, an engineer, and a scientist. I'm privileged to be standing in front of the wealth of V.K range. You are the wealth of V.K range. You must understand that. You are the wealth. What I'm trying to say is, wealth doesn't only, confined to garid damor chula, go damor banai se itu kali no. That alone is not a wealth. But you have to be resourceful in whatever capacity you are. And I think that is called wealth. Itu kuasnya ki, itu bagi. We are in a time where our parents, particularly our parents, until and unless we get through an examination, we are not considered as an employee. We are in that situation, I'm telling you. For example, you are doing a business, you are earning a lot, but our elders may not consider you as a responsible citizen because you are not an officer. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not trying to underestimate the contribution of those government officials, but I'm trying to dwell on the equality of profession in today's world. And I think that is what I think necessary in our Naga society, in our context today. We cannot discriminate anyone. But what I'm trying to say is, our interest and each and every profession is important and has to be respected in our society. And I think that is that can be one reason where particularly the V.K range, have to embrace change, or say embrace innovation. I felt that way, which is why I'm saying today I have seen lots of successful people who are not happy again. We are talking about changes. This is a church pulpit. I came across in some journals where a billionaire and a millionaire committing suicide. Why? Because they are not happy. Because they are not happy in life. What I'm saying is, I think we have to inculcate and inherit the good old values of our forefathers. Many young Naga leaders and many young Naga successful, even in our midst, today, they are very successful. They are getting what they desire in a way, but they are not happy because they have forgotten the old values of our forefathers, our cultures. Particularly Naga Manohan, if I have to say, kitab pura kunbage pura sab, and when I interact with our elders, my father told me, Amila bawa mige kuisi, manu elders kan aile to uthina receive kuro lage. I think that is respect. Before our elders talk or speak their mind, we should not talk as a younger one. I think we are losing the grip. we are losing the grip. I think anigan bal values to charina bisi westernized bi which is why I think la channel do thick pani do jagole la jagade jawana parina I felt that way. While embracing innovation in our day-to-day life, including each and every one of us, we also have to ensure that the good values of our elders, our forefathers, has to be inherited by all of us. I feel that until and unless we inherit all good values, I think individually and as a community, it will be difficult for us to grow. Therefore, my dear students, anihan kiman whatever we want to grab in our life, even if you go very far from this VK range, you have to ensure that you are from this village, you are from this area, and you are Sumi. And you have to ensure that the all good values of our elders has to be inherited by all of us. And that will indicate that you are Sumi Naga and you are Naga as a whole. I want all of us to rethink and reflect ourselves as we dwelt on our theme, embracing innovation. I will stress on how Nagaland State Staff Selection Board was constituted, was formulated, and it came into being. My respected President Ninodo was the President of Naga Students Federation. Because of his trust and confidence, I could meet lots of leaders, including Sumi leaders, including the legislators, our elected members, bureaucrats, senior bureaucrats, and elders. Their school of thought was such that itu NSS to nagamanu nimide ita laga context nimide thik nohobo. Kile kuase kuile to back door bra itu gombura laga bacha ase tai kitab balba pura para nai nohile bi please don't take me wrong. Tai itu dukhya laga school bra aise itu ke diase. Those were the excuses and those were their school of thoughts. But as young people, as young leaders, we were of the opinion that it is time for Nagaland, particularly Nagaland, to have someone who should be fitted for the right job. Itu Baghi Hoho, and most importantly, we felt that it is time for the state of Nagaland to constitute a board where fair competition, meritocracy has to be promoted, so that young people, young intellectual minds should able to compete, particularly for the recruitment of grade 3. And that is the reason why Naga Students Federation spearheaded that movement, and finally it came to be. My dear students, with the change of time, we cannot rely on the dreams of our parents. Ami kan baba na pule ase, ami la baba ma laga baba na hisab te jao na pare laga situation like this. We are in such stage, my dear friends. We cannot grumble. Let us not grumble on the best possible facilities provided by our parents. It is us, it is you and I who should able to grab, who should able to embrace, and who should able to invent and innovate our own future. It is time, my dear students, it is time for all of us. Let us not grumble. Let us not grumble on whatever facilities our parents provide to each and every one of us. Let us not grumble that I'm from village, I am this and that. But let us accept and embrace and innovate our own destiny, my dear friends. I think, and most importantly, Without the blessing and the will of our Almighty God, I think we cannot move forward. My dear students, every successful, or for that matter, every prominent leaders used to say that youths like us are the wealth, are the wealth and the assets of their community. V.K range kuile do, ami kanla parents kan koi, you are our wealth. Ami akire kuisi do. As the saying goes, whereas today we are living in a situation where we, instead of contributing to the people, we, instead of helping our parents, we have become the burden. We have become the liabilities of our parents. We have become the liabilities of our community. Kile we say. Why? I want all of us to reason. If I, at all, I can able to say something good to you individually, please think carefully. Whether you have become the burden of your parents, of your family, of your community, or whether you are the assets, whether you are contributing something good to your family, to your parents, please reason properly. I want this, each and every one of you attending this, to reflect yourself and think of yourself whether you are contributing something good to your village, to your family, to at large, or you have become the burden. Or as you see yourself, as you dream of yourself 5 years from now, where do you see yourself? I think, including myself, we have to be able to reflect ourselves today. Please, let us all embrace the change. Let us all embrace the change. Most of us have smartphone in our hand. Whether I explain or not, if you just Google it, you will able to grab what is embracing innovation. Even if you cannot reason yourself. But practically what I'm trying to say is, I think each and every one of us have to able to ensure that you are a responsible citizen of your family, of your community, of your range. And then only we can see the brightness of V.K among Sumis, we can see the brightness of V.K area among the Nagas. You are blessed to have highway crossing your area. It depends on you. Manu bra nakuli bhi manu bishi juldi bra dikhi jabo. Apnan prosper jasna, develop wasna, bal wasna, biya jase, you will get to know. So let this particular conference be the channel where it touches the heart of each and every individual souls who are attending this conference, so that each and every one of us can make this as a challenge and embrace innovation in our life, in our family, and in our community. Lastly but not the least, as a student leader, in my thought process understanding, I feel that I have to say this. The role of student body in our community, in our village, in our range. Last point. We are blessed, I should say, to come out in a structure where each and every, most of the village, student body as it. If I ask you, Kunba president, this, most of you, that is Naga structure, that is Naga style. Bosti pura the student body thage, range pura the student body thage, community pura the student body thage. Aro, last day in the context of Nagas today, we have Naga Students Federation. Whereas, itu student body to contribute kuro paras na my society ni bide. Is your village students union positively impacting your village? I think it is time for us to see and reflect. I used to think a lot about this because I also promote my leadership in my humble capacity, starting from my village, in the grassroots level. Ami eku hesitation na thakena ami itu ekta kotha koidu. In our village, if I'm not wrong, recognized village kando, we need not go beyond what we cannot reach. But at least in our village, we have a primary school in every village setup, if I'm not wrong. Itu VK area TV itu thakibo naki. At least bostite, Anila bostite, primary school thakibo. Can we able to, doesn't mean that we have to check them, but itu khali ulebi nurtured kurina, hohai kurina, grow le pares. I think it is time for our student leaders to indicate where we have to focus. And only after that, I think our community as a whole can be promoted. Ami itu bagi lagi. It is time for VK Range Students Union to ensure that our village primary school is properly in check. In a sense, it has to grow. Enrollment ekta thakibi, duita thakibi, it has to grow. VK area high school kiman ase, it has to grow. It is the role, I think, most importantly, सबसे important though, itu sao parilebi, we can see within 2 to 3 years the Nagaland kiman growth with I foresee in that manner. So, as a student leader, I want to remind our VK Range Students Union that it is the responsibility of the Students Union to take care of not only our entire ships, but to ensure that those underprivileged students or families who are studying in the grassroots has also to be promoted by each and every one of us. Ami kulebi aro bishi ase, but I think today is the first session, and most of you have traveled from here and there, and I can see tiredness in all of you. But I pray that this very conference, the 48th session of the VK Range Students Union, a very grand success, and I'm very happy to see 2 young girls representing the respective Students Union, in the capacity of President, introducing boldly, which shows that I think Nagas are growing. Maki Ubi, Muta Ubi, we are growing. And I wish to see a lady becoming the President of Sumi Students Union, SKK. I wish to see our lady becoming the President of NSF in the near future, and so forth. I pray that this conference bring manifold blessing to each and every individual who is attending this conference. May God bless all of us. Long live VK Range Students Union, long live SKK, long live Naga Students Federation, Koknaling. Thank you.